All right, and here we are, day 28. We've been on the road for 4 weeks now. This is actually our final night on the road. And we are at Leonard Eister's apartment right now. Here's Mr. Matthew Colpitz. Can you tell me what you found to be just one thing that you're going to take from this trip?
One thing I'm going to take with this trip. The biggest thing would be to have a better understanding of what goes into the workings of a ministry, and how fundraising works, how the support works. Knowing that it's not just going overseas for a few weeks on a trip and then coming back. It's miles and miles of driving, hours and hours of work, and just dozens of wonderful supporters.
Alrighty. And we're going to turn our attention over here to Mr. Eister. Can you tell me what you took away from this trip?
I'd say the thing I took away the most was a great appreciation for the people involved in the ministry. We got to stay with families from all over the country and individuals and churches, and they felt a joy about being able to be a part of the mission field with us, but it was really such a joy that they were involved with us as well, that people are giving of their time or their home or their financial resources and prayer support to have the Great Commission fulfilled around the world. So I want to thank everybody who gives to EPI. It really is a huge blessing, and you've touched me tremendously.
All right, and last but not least, we're going to turn our attention over to Tyler Colpitz. Here he is. And same question, one thing that you took away from this trip.
I was actually really blown away by how generous the supporters of EPI were, and just because every single night we almost stayed in a supporter's house, and it was just amazing at how generous they were, and just let us come into the house and sleep in their beds and eat their food, and it was really amazing.
Well, there you have it. Let's have one last look at these three guys. Tyler,
Go Penn State.
Leonard, and Matt. All right.
Well, I actually had a chance to talk to Andrea Krause this morning about her experiences with EPI. She's been to Ghana twice and also Zimbabwe with EPI, and here's what she had to say.
Can you tell me how you got started with EPI, how you found out about it?
I found out about EPI through Dave Schloop, who is a friend of mine I went to college with at Valparaiso University, and he had always talked about going on mission trips, and he'd come to visit us on the way back from mission trips, my husband and I, and he'd stay with us, and I'd talk his ear off and listen to everything he had to say. And one day, I always told him I was going to go on a mission trip to Africa with him, and it just timing was never right. I always made excuses like the kids are too little, or I just can't. And one time he came to visit, and I said, so tell me about what organizations do you go with? And he had told me a couple, and EPI stuck out, and I went that night. I was on the internet for like 3 hours on EPI's website learning about EPI, and pretty much from there I was sold.
All right, now you've been to Ghana twice and Zimbabwe twice?
Yes.
And out of all those trips, can you tell me maybe your most favorite, aspect of those trips, like something that really touched you while you were there?
I think it was, just off the top of my head, I would have to say one of the times I was in Zimbabwe, we set up a medical clinic in a rural area, and there was like hundreds of people just come and wait, and there was these two little girls who just looked real sickly, and their clothes were almost falling off of them, and we found out a little bit about them, and ended up that they were orphans, and the parents, I don't know, we couldn't really find out a lot, but I found out that they were living in that area, and their parents just left the house one day and never came back, and that just really touched me, because we were able to treat them medically and share the gospel with them, and I just wanted to take them home. But we made sure that the people in the area were going to look after them and take care of them. That just stands out in my mind today, still, after going on 4 different trips.
Alrighty, and if you can just finish this statement for me. The thing I like best about EPI is...
There's so many things. The thing I like best about EPI is how they share the gospel. They go to the people, and they just very basic, easy sharing of the gospel to those people who've never heard about Jesus Christ. I think that's so great how they do it.
Well, that's it. That's all of us for the EPI road trip of 2008. On behalf of Tyler, Matt, and Leonard, and myself, we all want to say thank you for the great times that we've had this past month. It's been a crazy road trip. We put on about 11,000 miles on the car, and we learned a lot about each other. But we thank you so much. For EPI News, I'm Seth Poplaski.